Internal waffling complete. That's my theme for this year's winter solstice. The last couple of months, you may have felt torn, like you were trying to decide which path to take, which road to go down, maybe with your business, maybe with starting a business, maybe with starting a new project, or maybe even in a personal relationship. And I think that has to do with a lot of the way the nodes were hit the last couple of months. Also, with a lot of the activity we've had around Venus and Mars. And I think all of it has been creating a space where people know that their heart is calling to them in a different way. That's what I talked about in my last video for this new moon in Sagittarius, which is coming up this week. And I feel like the openings that happen around the new moon will come to a culmination or a breakthrough moment on the solstice itself or around the time of the solstice. That if you still feel unclear, even by the time of the new moon, hopefully by the end of the weekend on the actual solstice, at least if you're in the northern hemisphere, um, that answers will come to you, that the path will be clear, or at least the next steps. One of the reasons I think that's going to happen is, and I'm going to be looking down in my notes briefly. That same day, we're going to have Venus squaring Saturn. As Saturn is boundaries, task keeping, what helps us bring things into fruition. Venus, our relationship to love, our values, our monies, they're going to be squaring. So, all of those issues around money, leadership, how you want to show up in the world, what you want to bring into the world, that's going to be highlighted. And at the same time, or the same day, we're going to have Jupiter squaring Chiron. Jupiter, planet of abundance, and Chiron is considered the wounded healer, or what I like to think of it as is the way the old church folks would call it, that test you have to have before the testimony. So when you have Jupiter, the planet of abundance, squaring that wound that we're always working with, I think of Chiron as when we develop the part of ourselves that has created some of our deepest wounds. Maybe your challenge is dealing with abandonment, for example. So you can get to a space where you're able to be open and loving and to trust other people, to be in a healthy marriage. But there will still always be times where that marriage triggers that fear of abandonment. That is how Chiron operates in our life. And so when it's squaring Jupiter, maybe the wound you have around being visible in the world may come to the surface on that same day, and how that's been impacting your ability to do certain things in your business, or how to show up for yourself in certain relationships, or how to show up for yourself in other areas of your life. The fact that it's happening the same day that we have a Venus Saturn square, and we're literally going into a new season, winter solstice. It is the beginning of Capricorn season. And many astrologers suggest that we map out our lives from solstice to equinox to solstice to equinox. So we have the winter solstice, December 21st, and then we're going to have the spring equinox in March 2021. So you can plan out, so you could use this time, the breakthroughs that come up for you around how you haven't been showing up for yourself, or where you know you need to make a difference, maybe do work differently, maybe make a pivot in your business. This weekend could be a good time to begin mapping out what are some of the intentions you like to have unfold between now and the spring equinox. That could be part of your winter solstice ritual if you're going to do one. You might want to map out a plan for winter solstice. Maybe you want to do a ritual just by yourself, one on one, or maybe there's a community or a group gathering, or maybe you want to get together with friends and create a winter solstice together. Maybe you can create intentions around how you'd like to see not only what comes to manifestation or unfolds for you between now and March, but what would you like to have happen on all of 2026? One idea that you could have as part of a solstice ritual: write a letter to yourself. Um, Have your future self write a letter to you now. You could pick a time from a year from now, or maybe even 5 years from now. Set the time to get quiet, meditate, feel into what that person's life looks like, the you that exists 5 years from now, for example, and have them write a letter to you about what you need to know now in this moment. That may give you some insight, clarity, breakthroughs around what your next steps are. But I love winter solstice. I love that feeling of going into the dark. I love that feeling of seeding something new. And I love the community that comes around it. I love the altars that you can set up for a winter solstice ritual. And I feel like it connects me to my ancestors, people who honored the rhythm of time and nature, and that it reminds me why I like following the phases of the moon, why I like following astrology. I feel like it helps me bring my body back into itself. I was in a gathering and someone asked me why the moon has such a powerful impact on us. And I said, well, simply, we're 80% water and the moon rules water. So when we pay attention to the cycles of the moon and the sun, like the solstice and the equinox, it helps us get in touch with our own innate natural rhythm, how we like to move through the world, and what our body needs in terms of rest and recovery. And winter solstice can be a great time too to set aside time to rest and recover, to allow yourself to reflect on what you've been through this year and what you want to release, what you do not want to bring into 2026. So set aside the time to do that, to give yourself permission to do that. Or that could be something that if you are doing a winter solstice gathering with other people, maybe that's something you could all talk about. Or maybe you could just write down on slips of paper, like 2 or 3 things that you no longer want to carry with you going forward. And maybe you burn it ceremonially or rip it up into tiny little pieces and like throw it away or flush it down the sink, that sort of thing. But there are all kinds of winter solstice rituals, and you can look them up online. And I highly encourage you to do that. Excuse me. But that's basically it. I just want to give you some ideas what you can do for this winter solstice. And I want to take the time to tell you that you've done a fantastic job, no matter where you are in your life. The fact that you're still here, that you survived 2025, and that you keep moving, you keep going forward, you keep becoming a better version of yourself. You keep showing up for the people you love and honor in your life. Acknowledge yourself for that. Give yourself a hug for that. And I will be back, of course, next week. I'm going to have videos during the week of Christmas and the week after Christmas. I'm going to do my best to stay on regularly scheduled programming. But if things get crazy, I might end up only doing one video a week for the next couple of weeks. We're just going to see how it goes. I'm going to follow my own natural rhythm with this sort of thing, like I'm always encouraging all of you to do as well. I do want to remind people to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, do check out my offerings. I have my Fixture Content Creation Planning in 30 Minutes PDF. I explain to people how they can create a content creation planning using the cycles and the phases of the moon and help you get off that content creation hamster wheel, how you can do it where you could have breaks built into your schedule and your routine, so that you're not blowing out your nervous system while you're attempting to be consistent with creating your content. I also still offer my 30-minute free Witnessing You one-on-one sessions, my astro counseling sessions, where I use astrology, my own experience of counseling, and other modalities that I've learned throughout the years, empathetic listening, to help you identify your blocks and help you move through them, and using the astrology of the times to do so as well. That is a snapshot of my 90-minute longer paid version, which is I call You Illuminated. And also, I have my Skool community, $9 a month or $50 a year. And in that community, I have a weekly free Q&A with people, excuse me, a weekly Q&A that's included in the paid membership. And I also do office hours as well, once a month for people as well to get a taste of the uh, astro counseling sessions as well. And in 2026, I'm planning to have other things added to that community, that container as well. And with that, wishing you so much love, a happy new moon, and a happy winter solstice. And I'm so grateful for all of you who visit the channel. Welcome back. If you're returning, welcome if you're new. Thank you for stopping by. And I hope you receive value out of this. I hope you are receiving the support that you need outside of this channel as well. And continue to do that if you need to find other support from other resources, other therapists, other modalities, because this time of year can be really difficult for many people. So if you're having a challenging time with all of the holiday celebrations because you've had a lot of losses throughout the years, because many people are in that space, simply honor that, give yourself permission to feel what you need to feel and to receive the support that you need to move through all of it because you deserve it. You're worth it. Sending you all so much love. Peacefully yours, Darice.